Friday nights in the mountains hit different. Rivalries renew as August heat turns into cold mountain nights. From Mitchell to Murphy, we've got the plays, the players, and the matchups that matter. The battle for the Blue Ridge starts here. This is Mountain Matchups.
Welcome back to the Mountain Matchups podcast. The battle for the Blue Ridge. Where does it start, boys?
Here.
It starts here. Happy Rosh Hashanah to all who celebrate. We're officially past the halfway point of the regular season, and the picture is starting to sharpen. Some teams are surging, some are skidding, and the top 10 is tighter than ever, like spandex on a sumo wrestler. We've got big rivalries heating up, statement wins shaking up the power rankings, and a few programs looking to prove they still belong in the mix. I'm Caleb, joined as always by my guys Corey and Warren, and we've got a loaded slate to break down. On today's episode, Hendo gets back on track, Erwin and Reynolds fall flat, and Pisgah keeps on trucking. But first, it's our Game of the Week recap, Brevard versus Franklin. And boys, this one was more classic than your granny's sweet potato pie at Thanksgiving. The Blue Devils went into Cullowhee and stole one from the Panthers in overtime, 34-28.
Yeah, and you got to give credit to Braylon Thompson from Brevard. I mean, he had 135 yards on the ground, 3 touchdowns, and 21 carries. I mean, come on, that was a big time game for him. He really stepped it up.
Yeah, he was big time, and really in the first half, the first quarter, really, they couldn't get Thompson going. And on the flip side, you had Garrett Young still doing his thing, starting to find his place, in the offense. But, the quarterback, Terrell, he really was struggling to find his rhythm there. But once they got to the second quarter, the team started showing a little bit more. They both had some long drives that resulted in touchdowns, but it was just a defensive battle to start the first half.
Yeah, and Christian Conley, too. I mean, him being able to come in the game for Kessinger and give him a little bit of a blow, going 9 for 12 for 119 yards and a touchdown. And then not only that, they throw him out at receiver when you got Kessinger back in the game. And once again, like we always harp on, I mean, they just got weapon after weapon. And I really give credit to Franklin's defense for even being able to hold them to 34 and keep them in this game. I was honestly impressed with the Panthers.
And with Thompson, kind of starting off slow. He ended up having a great game. But their star wide receiver, we got to talk about him again. Warren, it's your boy, Tristan Thompson-Wynn. Talk about that 50-yard touchdown he had in the first half.
Well, they traded punts early on, and then Hyphen struck out of nowhere off a missed tackle for a 50-yard touchdown. He had sniped through the defense. Of course, Franklin responded. Garrett Young, I think you guys said last week he's only 15 years old, a sophomore. Mm-hmm. The dude looks like a grown man out there. He literally almost looks like a collegiate athlete as it is. He's capped the drive with a bootleg touchdown catch, 7-7. After that, Brevard chewed the clock with a methodical drive. Thompson punched in the end zone from inside the 10. It's 14-7 Brevard at the break. Franklin did what they could. A little bit of an interesting halftime speech from Coach Brooks, but we'll get into that.
Yeah, I think we need to go ahead and get into it since we're at kind of halftime in the game. So yeah. we were all watching the broadcast on Franklin Panthers Sports Network, which, by the way, anyone listening, they broadcast their games on YouTube. The media team out there does a great job. This was the first game that I had watched on their network on YouTube, and it's impressive the job they do. So kudos to them. But anyways, Warren, talk about that halftime interview with Franklin's assistant coach.
All right, so at halftime, Franklin assistant coach Jay Brooks said number 4 didn't have his belt on. They even said he can play for us like that. Well, yeah, he didn't have it on. Because he's too busy beating you guys half to death with it. Thompson-Wynn, anytime he gets an open space, it's at least a 15-yard gain, had a 50-yard touchdown. Just very interesting words that I thought. He also had words such as, we need to run faster, do this and that, which obviously running faster would help. It was just a very interesting interview that I thought. He also said that anytime Brevard gets the ball, they're going to score, which I think that led to some of the plays later on in the second half, right off, actually.
To me, that I'm not discrediting who he is as a coach or who their coaching staff is or anything like that, or even the Franklin kids. But to me, that gave me the impression that, and I'm not saying he meant this, but it almost sounded like your kids aren't running hard enough. They're not performing well enough. They need to, I don't know, play harder. I don't know, because I was pretty impressed with Franklin in the first half, to be honest with you. I mean, Brevard's they're a load.
It stood out how he said they have to score every time because that's what Brevard does. And again, it was 14-7, so it wasn't like Brevard was dominating them. Now, to be fair, both teams were having some long drives chewing up the clock. But Franklin's defense was at least doing a good job slowing them down. That just seemed like if you had just heard that interview, you would have thought they were down 28 at halftime. But to your point, Corey, 14-7 is not good enough. So let's talk about the second half a little bit. Franklin really stepped up big time. I mean, Garrett Young opened the half with a TD run to tie it up. Then I think we got to talk about this. The onside kick. Franklin tried a surprise onside that didn't go 10 yards. So Brevard gets the ball, around the 50, 40, something like that. And they capitalized immediately. Thompson ran it. It was 20-14. They missed the extra point. What were y'all's thoughts on the onside kick there? It kind of seems to back up what Jay was talking about at halftime, how they were feeling like they had to score or maybe steal some possessions from Brevard. Was that a good call or a bad call?
I'm going to say it was a bad call just because, and I would say it would be even more of a bad call if it was a true home game at the Panther Pit, which we know it wasn't. It was at Western Carolina. But at the same time, Western Carolina is much closer to home for you than it is Brevard. So
right.
They still had to have a long bus trip over there. It's technically your home game. You probably do have the slight edge in fan bases. So I don't really like it just because, especially after Garrett Young opens up the half with a touchdown run like that and ties the game 14-all, you've got momentum right there. And it just really could have, I mean, it did come back to bite them eventually by Thompson scoring again. I know they ended up taking this game into overtime, but I just don't like that because you've got the momentum on your side. It's 14-14. Let your kids play defense and maybe try and get a stop versus giving Brevard chance with the ball at around the 50-yard line. I just it's too risky for me at that point in the game when your team's playing well and nothing's really wrong at that point in time.
Yeah, you just tied it up. It's early in the third quarter.
Yeah.
It almost sounds like he didn't believe in his defense, to be quite frank with you.
Which
hey, it's a tied game. Even Jay Brooks at halftime's like they're going to score every time they get the ball. That's not exactly confiding in your defense to begin with. Right. I mean, it just sounded like a little bit of desperation right there. I didn't like the call at all, let alone not even kicking at 10 yards.
And they were playing. Sorry, Warren, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just going to say they were playing fine defense, in the terms of slowing down Brevard. I mean, you've seen nobody else in the mountains has been able to do it yet. And look at Davion Hall and Garrett Young to flying around on defense. And I mean, they were fine. They were fine. I don't know about it, but
yeah.
I mean, you take away that 50-yard. Run and catch by a hyphen, and it's a tied game at the break.
Yep. Yeah.
So,
yeah, and like Corey mentioned, Davion Hall, quick shout-out to him, their defensive end. He led Franklin with 8 solo tackles. I mean, he was all over the field doing everything he could. Yeah, I think the real story of this game, the thing that stood out to me the most, we knew what Brevard had, and we had seen kind of the stats that Garrett Young had accumulated over the season. But, man, seeing him on tape, This young man, 15 years old, sophomore, just bulldozing people. Like he would hit the hole and carry dudes another 5 to 6 yards. I mean, he was just a monster in this game. His stats, he finished the game 203 yards and 3 touchdowns on 30 carries. So he was just bulldozing dudes. It was impressive.
Yeah, it takes at least 3 people to tackle him.
Yep. And if you're Franklin and you're running that power I that they often favor, I mean that's the type of dude you want carrying the football. I mean that's hard to stop.
Yeah. Speaking of Garrett Young, Corey, one quick note: we've been saying that he was Jeremiah Young's younger brother. We were incorrect. It is his nephew. So apologies for getting that wrong. We made an assumption just based on the age difference. But anyways, like Corey's mentioned in past episodes, great football family, and he looks like just a certified star, and we're very excited to see what he does over the next couple of his years. Going back to the game, there were a couple plays that stand out to me. Franklin had Brevard stopped on third down, kind of. They tipped the ball, and they just get unlucky, and it lands right in a Brevard receiver's hands. So that picked up a first down. They ended up scoring on. That was a blow. Just a very unfortunate play. And then the Panthers defense kind of finally let up towards the end. So Franklin takes the lead on a Young touchdown. Shocker. 40-yard touchdown run. That was his third of the night there. With just over 3 minutes left, Brevard, they're clutch, boys. What else can we say? They went right downfield. Corey, talk a little bit about that drive.
And that's just the product of the coaching too. But yeah, I mean, Thompson breaking loose and scoring, and Kessinger converts the 2-point try to tie it at 28. And by the way, let me add, I couldn't have called a better call myself. Not that I'm, Coach Luke Coleman, but to call that bootleg on the 2-point conversion and just be able to have your quarterback walk into the end zone, he's over there in his head like, we got him now, boys.
Gutsy.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Franklin, they get the ball back with, I don't even know how much time was left. What, like a minute, maybe a little under. They drove to midfield, couldn't get past it. Time expires on a sack. And we got free football. Now, we should mention, too, that this game started after a 2.5 hour lightning delay, something like that. So,
Kickoff was at 9:30.
It might still be lightning because it got a little ridiculous at one point. I even looked up the radar near Cullowhee, and it's like, what's happening right now? Heat lightning? Play football, please. Anyway, sorry.
You're good. It was around midnight whenever, they got to overtime or so. And it ended quick. Franklin gets first possession. Garrett Young bulldozes his way inside the 10. And then Terrell just forces a pass. While he was under pressure, gets picked off in the end zone by Akai Ajapon. I believe that's the pronunciation. Apologize if I'm getting that wrong. And as soon as that happened, I was like, uh-oh. Like, Brevard's going to seal the deal. And then lo and behold, Warren, what happened?
Kessler hit a strike on the first play of overtime for the walk-off touchdown, like they always do in the second half of what seems like every freaking game.
Yep.
Second half team. And I just want to point out, I talked about Jay Brooks and the Franklin's coaching staff. I think it's an amazing coaching staff. I think their players are extremely well coached.
Yep.
I just think that onside kick and, that little halftime speech was interesting, to put it mildly. But I think they're very well coached, and I think they're going to have a phenomenal season. Well, they already are, but they'll continue to have one.
Yep, agreed.
Let me add one more thing. I mean, I know that we put them at the number 2 spot going into the Brevard game in our power rankings, and I thought that they were legit, but I was like, can they really hang with Brevard? And son, they proved that they deserve to be that number 2, at least number 3 now. But I mean, that was an impressive game.
I think they should have won this game. Undoubtedly. They should have won this game.
There were a couple plays they just got unlucky on. I think, the onside kick, the tip pass that Brevard ended up catching to get a first down and then scoring off of, giving up that one play to Thompson where he just knifed through him. I mean, there's so many things you can look back if you're on Franklin's side and take it as a positive. Like, if we just clean up these 3 plays, we win by 2 touchdowns possibly. Very, very impressed by Franklin's guts. They didn't back down. You could tell from the opening kickoff, they weren't scared of Brevard. They knew they belonged, and that's why we picked it as our game of the week, and it really lived up to its billing. But
I think they're getting better too, because week 1 they lost to Murphy. Is that correct? Off the top of my head?
Yep.
Yeah, they did.
And I think that woke them up a little bit. They've been playing excellent football since, and they're going to play excellent football for the rest of the year, I think, anyway.
Yep. So Brevard stays undefeated, and Franklin now has 2 losses on the season. But to Murphy and Brevard, I mean, in close games, I know the Murphy score ended up being a little bit more bigger than it actually was. That was a close game for the most part until the fourth quarter. But either way, Franklin is playing well. We're still, got major respect for them and their coaches, just like we do Brevard. It was an amazing game all around, but congrats to Brevard for pulling it out in OT. In our other 9 games that we discussed last week, we got a little bit to talk about. Inca goes to McDowell. Warren, 33-7, Inca falls. Operation Beat Danny Brown was a failure.
This game was an absolute atrocity. I think Logan Trantham is still running like the cops are after him. McDowell was in the backfield literally every other play. Poor Trantham just running around, scrambling around. The center, poor center, hiked the ball over Trantham's head for a 40-yard loss at one point. The defense was on the field. They might still be on the field. Feels like they've been on the field since Vietnam. I don't even blame the defense, to be honest with you, because if you're on the field 80% of the game, you got to get gassed. I mean, I think McDowell's a better team. They're not that much better, not even remotely close. Danny Brown diced them up 16 for 22, 212 yards and a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
I know some of the Inca boys put out an Instagram post like, beat Danny Brown. No, that did not happen at all. Might want to delete that one, fellas. Yeah, go ahead, Corey.
I'm not going to say too much. It tends to get me in trouble, but yeah, I mean, like you said, Logan Trantham continuously running for his life, and it is a shame because Inc. has had so many struggles at the center position this year. I mean, I feel a lot of their games could have been different if it weren't for so many bad snaps. You just can't afford to lose yards and a down by snapping the ball over the quarterback's head, especially when a good number of the games you're playing in, you're considered the underdog. It's just it's very unfortunate. That's all I'm going to say about it.
Well, yeah. I think Parham did have a little 72-yard screen and run, I think, so props to him. I know he posts on our IG and stuff, so I'm going to give him his flowers. Logan Trantham, I hope you're still not running, buddy. Still a fan, though. But McDowell was just by far the better team last Friday. Not going to lie when I say I was extremely disappointed. Watched the game on my PC, and it was just a catastrophe beyond words. But yeah.
Yeah, tough showing for the Jets. And Corey, to your point about the center position, they've tried a lot of different kids, and my heart goes out to them. They're out there trying. Sometimes things just ain't going to go your way, and maybe you're playing out of position and you're forced to play center. Maybe you're a guard, maybe you're a tackle. I mean, let's be honest, being a center is not easy. Warren, Corey, we watch the Panthers every week. How many times does that snap go wrong to Bryce Young?
Hey, I dabbled with some center in middle school. Now, my shotgun snap was pretty dadgum good, boys. But to do that and to block every play, I mean, it's tough, and you got to call out blitzes. I assume that's what they do there. It's hard. So,
yeah, so we're definitely not dogging on those kids. That's a very tough position to play, but you're only going to get better if you keep playing. So keep grinding, keep pushing. And Inca's on a bye this week, and we'll see what they got after that. But, tough loss at McDowell for sure. Robbinsville, 29. Hayesville, 10. Tisa Teskey. How about this game, fellas? 91 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns on 12 carries. Yeah, this kid was playing center, Corey. Talk about that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I mean, the kid was a dang center. He's wearing number 52 until they decided to give him number 5 and make him a bruiser of a halfback. He definitely showed out.
That's a hell of a name, too, by the way. Tisa Teskey.
Yeah.
I have to put that one on my radar. We're going to write that one down.
Tisa Teskey rolls off the tongue. You like that alliteration? I was an English major. No, I wasn't. A couple other notes. Isaac Collins, again, monster, 16 carries for 103 yards. Ben Bethel for Hayesville, 3 catches for 103 yards, including a 65-yard bomb. So he was doing his part, but they fall short to Robbinsville, 29-10. Hendersonville, they got back on track, fellas, after that crazy game against Erwin, 34-7.
I think that was a much-needed win for my Hendersonville team. Jerome Ward, 8 for 17. And, the stat line doesn't exactly pop off, but, 8 for 17, 85 yards. He threw 2 picks, but Hendersonville's a running team. 63 yards rushing, 13 carries, had 2 touchdowns. That's what they do. Every now and then, Jerome Ward will throw some highlight reel pass, though, that shows glimpses of greatness. But he didn't the other night, which they didn't need to. They won handedly. Good for them. They're back on track.
Early on, they were tight with Mitchell, and I texted y'all, and I was like, there's no way they can lose to Mitchell, right? And sure enough, Hendersonville pulls away shortly after that to win 34-7. We had another great close game. I mean, there was a bunch this week, let's be honest. This one was really good. Low scoring, but it was a good one. Owen, 17. Polk County, 14. We all took Polk. We thought they were going to handle business at home, but Owen came in there and beat them.
Yeah, I was very surprised about that. I haven't seen what kind of teams Polk County's had here recently, but I guess Owen's starting to figure some things out after these past few years. They're trying to put a little team together. I think they're 3-2, dare I say,
I think
right
that's
now.
right.
So shout out to the War Horses, man. Y'all are doing your thing.
I want to give a big shout out. I'm sorry if I completely butcher your name. Hayden Burpue from Owen. You guys know I'm a big fan of special teams.
Mm-hmm.
Game-winning 40-yard field goal with a $1.39 left. He also had 9 rushes, 49 yards, and a 14-yard receiving touchdown. Doing a little bit of everything. 40-yard, essentially game-winning field goal. That's what I like to see. That means his coaches trust him. He's like, hey, go out there, son. Knock the living hell out of that ball. And that's what he did, and they got the dub.
Hey, you remember how the other night you were telling me about whatever game it was? You're like, no shot that this one kid is kicking a 48-yarder. Well, that kid kicked a 40-yarder. I mean, it can be done in high school.
I mean, there's a little bit of difference between a 40. I mean, it's another 8 yards, Corey.
I'm saying I've seen dudes when I was in school kick 55-yarders. So it's possible is all I'm saying.
I know it's possible. Has one happened yet? Have you seen someone kick a 55-yard field goal this season yet, Corey?
No, but I have seen a lot of missed point afters.
Yeah, and I think
Horn's
got PTSD from all the missed PATs he's seen this year. So a 40-yard field goal is like the most amazing thing that's ever happened in high school to Warren.
Yeah.
But it is very impressive. Like real talk, that was a great game-winning kick. Again, these kids, we talked about it last week with the kid, and I'm blanking out on what game that was that he won. But to have the stones to kick that in crunch time, like that's so much pressure, especially for a high schooler. It's a pressure at any level, but especially a high schooler. So props to Hayden. How did you pronounce it? I think it's Burpo.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Burpo sounds good. Burpew. So we'll go Burpo.
Yeah. Little known fact, I'm part French.
Whoa.
Lorenzo Sanchez for Polk, 25 carries for 189 yards and a touchdown. He also caught 3 passes for 63 yards and a touchdown. So just want to give him a quick little shout out for Polk County. Had a great game, but not enough to beat Owen. Burpo sent him packing in a battle between 2 of the star running backs. And you know what? I'm not even going to say Western North Carolina. In all of North Carolina. Pisgah goes into North Henderson, wins 28-20. Corey, what'd you see in that game?
Yeah, so me and Katie, my fiance, we actually went to this game. Shout out to her, by the way. She was the one to go watch Erwin. I was like, let's go watch a close one. Anyways, Landon Pope, 33 carries, 226 yards and a touchdown. But not only was it him, it was his partner Mason Putnam, and he rushed for 111 yards on 13 carries with 2 touchdowns. Also added 3 catches for 45 yards and another touchdown. So, I mean, those two, they're just trouble together. But speaking of on North Henderson's, Parker Willis, 28 carries for 264 yards and 2 touchdowns. North opens up the game with nothing but handoffs to Willis. And after about 3 or so plays, I think it was, Willis finally breaks one off for around 65 yards to give North a very quick and early 7-0 lead. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I thought it was going to be a long night for the Bears after watching the way Willis and North's offense just dominated from that first series.
I mean, that Parker Willis is so good. So
He's
good.
unreal.
And I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I think Pope and Putnam has become like WNC's Batman and Robin. If you look at the amount of rushing yards on this game, it approaches nearly 600 yards.
Yeah, and watching Willis in person, man, I seen him at the Inca game, and I remembered how fast he was, but seeing it, I sat on North side and like looking down there. For some reason, North's stands are a little bit higher up from the field, so I could really get a good view on Willis. And dude, when I talk about when he got a hole, oh my goodness, like what a different burst of energy that he has. Like, I compare him to Chris Carver that played at Inca. I don't know, a lot of these kids might not know about him, but I mean, they're almost the exact same style of player, and he's really fun to watch. But after Willis and them dominated that first series, Pisgah, it takes them a minute to kind of find their rhythm, but they would start letting Pope do his thing, and North struggled finding an answer for Pope. North had plenty of chances to also build on their lead, but late in the second quarter, the Bears would just eventually tie this game 7-7. And I want to speak on some questionable things, though, with the refs. For starters, the late first half drive for North, they're threatening to score. Quarterback Aiden Berry rolls out left, and he has nothing. So as a pass play, he rolls out left, scrambling, is going to easily pick up the first down. So this play has been happening for at least like 8 seconds at this point. All of a sudden, there's a ref starts blowing the whistle like over and over, dead in the middle of the play. And I'm like, I look at Katie, I'm like, what is going on right now? And she can't figure it out. All the North fans are like, what the crap is going on? I mean, and he would have got a first down around like the 10-yard line, I believe, of Pisgah with plenty of time left to go in the game. And all of a sudden, the ref rewards Pisgah a timeout. I was like, still not clear on that one. But later on in this game, a kid would also knock down a pass for North on a big-time third down, I believe, or maybe second down. Yeah, it was second down, would have made it third and long. And he literally, I mean, I've seen him. He knocks the pass down, gets up. He's celebrating to himself, hollering, whatever. He's not even doing like the seatbelt thing. He's not doing his finger at nobody. He's just hyped and yelling and smacks his helmets of a couple of his teammates, and this ref throws a flag on him. And that I did not agree with either. This ends up letting Pisgah get a first down automatically. They finish their drive. They score. Let the kids play, man. I mean, if they're not literally taunting, I mean, come on.
The refs in the games we've seen anyway, not all the games, but some of the games we've seen, Corey, Caleb, the refs have been a little ridiculous about this stuff lately. If kids want to celebrate, let them celebrate. If they're not taunting, if they're looking up in the sky and they're yelling, who cares?
Yeah, right.
There have been a few plays where there have been some extracurricular activity going on that might need to be called, but let them celebrate. Let them live.
My whole thing with it's the inconsistency. You'll see some stuff that deserves a flag, and it's like, I didn't see it. Whatever.
Well, but sometimes the refs need try to make it about themselves.
To be fair, I mean, refereeing's a hard job, and these guys, this is not their full-time job. They're out there, just helping out as much as they can. It's one thing to miss a call, a holding call, or to get a call wrong, but the extracurricular stuff, that's legitimately just the ref looking at a player and saying, well, I do or don't like that. And that's where I think it's fair to critique, right? Like,
right, yeah.
Let the kids play.
If someone gets a first down and they turn around and they're not even looking at the opposing team,
I feel like it needs to be like egregious. They need to be like cussing or like standing over a player, flexing on them, something like that, like Arch Manning did this week. I'm still mad about him not getting a flag for that. It's all because of the name on the back of his jersey.
That dude's a moron.
But anyways, we got off track. Pisgah and North Henderson kept trading blows. Corey, there was a couple of big turning points in this game.
Yeah, so North couldn't capitalize after the delayed whistle on whenever they were going to drive to end that first half, and had to send the field goal unit out. And Pisgah's Mason Putnam, I believe it was, blocked the field goal, of course, to end the half. Major momentum swing for the Bears there.
It's big time.
Yeah, North would look to Willis even more in the second half, and he would have another big run for a touchdown, but it ultimately came down to North having no answer for Putnam and Pope on the ground. Pisgah would just eventually pull this one out 28-20, and it's a big-time road win for the Bears, and I was impressed how they handled their business.
Yeah.
Corey, you've been saying North Henderson been underrated for a while. This was honestly a game they could have pulled out.
That's what I'm saying, man. I feel like people sleep on the Knights. Like, they're not a bad team at all.
No, they've had their chances in games too, and just haven't been able to capitalize. Like they were in that game with Hendersonville, and Hendersonville, took it from them in the fourth quarter. But they're not a bad team.
No,
but Pisgah's a really good team too, and they were able to win.
They are.
Glad you admitted that.
Hey, I've given them plenty of credit before.
TC Robertson goes into South Caldwell, wins 40-6, and me and Warren thought this game was going to be closer. Corey, I can't remember what you thought the point spread was going to be, but I did not see them blowing the doors off South Caldwell at South Caldwell like they did. It's pretty impressive.
I believe I said 14, I think, which wasn't anywhere close to that.
a few stat lines. Canius Atkins, 4 catches, 154 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Karad Harris, 11 of 19 passing, 232 yards and 3 touchdowns. And how about Kevin Holloway, baby? Got 2 picks for TC.
Oh,
it's good stuff. So, yeah, they went to South Caldwell, beat the brakes off them. The Rams, they played a tough schedule. They're probably not as bad as their record looks. I think it's safe to say. Another blowout, not in WNC's favor this time. Corey, you were at this one. Watauga, 49. Erwin, 14. They got smacked.
Yeah. This game was over about as soon as it started. Watauga jumped out 21-0 in the first quarter. And
Jeez.
they would eventually head into the locker room up 42-7 at the half. And about that time, I was like, me and Katie, we were at this one too because they played on Saturday night, got delayed on Friday night. So I was able to make it to this one as well. Katie got to see her Warriors after all. Too bad it was a blowout. And
she didn't see much of them.
We honestly ended up staying just to watch Watauga a little bit more in the second half because they honestly impressed me so much. I've always heard of them, but I've never seen them play. And when I tell you guys, they were one of the most disciplined football teams I've ever laid my eyes on, especially for a high school team. They just didn't hardly ever make mistakes. They almost always lined up in one formation, and they would motion multiple people out into something else every single play, like to a completely different formation that it's like you don't know where we're going with the football. And, they would motion – they'd motion out wingbacks, receivers, running back. The quarterback would switch spots with the running back. Just crazy stuff. And stuff like that just makes you hard to defend. And they weren't oversized or freakish athletes. They were just a well-coached, hard-nosed football team, and they played together as one unit, and they were extremely efficient. I do want to highlight one thing that really stood out to me. At one point in the game, the defense made a mistake. I couldn't tell what it was, but the coach was clearly not happy. Next thing I know, I see the entire defense on the field drop down and rep out 10 push-ups. 10 push-ups.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Meanwhile, they're up like 35-7 at that point.
That's called culture right there.
That's exactly what I was going to say. That is demanding excellence, and that speaks volumes to the type of culture they have that they've built over there. And if that ain't getting your kids to buy in, then I don't know what is. Watauga, they'd go on to win this one by a huge margin. And shout out to the Pioneers, man. They got something great going on over there in Boone. And actually, listen to this, too. I ain't told y'all about this yet. So me and Katie got to the game, and we were thinking that they did GoFan, and they didn't. Neither me or her had cash on us, and we were at the box office like, oh, crap. And one of their fans was like, how much y'all need? And gives us cash, and then their team goes in there and waxes Erwin. It's like these people, man.
He's like, I'm gonna buy you tickets to see a show. Like 42-7 at halftime. So that triggered the running clock in the second half. Final score 49-14. That's tough for the Warriors. We've talked about their struggles all year. They had a big win against Hendo, but what are they? Is that 1-4 now?
Yeah.
It's not good. They better really take control in the MAC, or they're in danger of missing the playoffs. Like, let's be honest.
They do play Inca soon, so.
Damn, Warren turning on his boys already.
Yeah, why don't you guys hate him as much as you hate me?
I've been hopping him up for over a month, Corey. Last week was disappointing.
They don't listen to the podcast to see what's actually going on. They just see the clips. This week, I'm going to post a clip of Warren talking crap about him, and then we'll see how he feels.
Yeah, then someone's going to burn my trailer down, then I'm going to have to move in with you guys.
All right. Wes Henderson, 21, Tuscola 7. Another great game. Another low-scoring game. Zane McCraw, stud. How many times have we talked about him? 200 yards and a touchdown on 31 carries. And he got the game-clinching interception. Returned it 37 yards for a touchdown. So it was 14-7. Tuscola was driving. Zane McCraw says, nah. Takes it back to the crib. Final score, 21-7. It was a done deal then.
Penalties killed Tuscola this game. 13 penalties, 110 yards. Zane McCraw, like you said, 200 yards and a touchdown. had the game-sealing interception. He's doing it on both ends of the field this year, like he's been doing. Interception, 37 yards for a touchdown. I think DeScola was driving down 14-7. McCraw's like, hell no. Pick it off, pick six, and that was the ball game.
And what have we talked about? So, like, I took Tuscola in this game, and because Jet Bartley had been playing well the last few games, but kind of right there ended the game on some of his bad habits that he had at the beginning of the season, and throws another pick, and it cost him this time.
Yep. And look, I think West is up there. They're one of the best teams. Tuscola was right there with them, just that one bad mistake. So I still think the Mountaineers are someone to keep an eye on. I still think they're flying under the radar a little bit. They're a solid team. That Tuscola Pisgah game might be a little spicy.
I'm going.
Yeah, well, you got to go. It's the best rivalry in the mountains. Another bad loss in WNC. Reynolds could not build on their great performance against Murphy. They lost 70-20 at Freedom. And
yeah, we really don't have many stats on this game, so I apologize. Caden Ray, 5 catches, 87 yards, and a touchdown. He returned a kickoff, 95 yards for a touchdown. We don't have any stats for Freedom, but I can assure you guys that basically every person on their roster scored a touchdown that game. So if you're listening to this game and you're a fan of Freedom, rest assured your grandchild, son, daughter, whoever, cheerleader might have scored. We don't know. But that is a bad loss for Reynolds. Not losing necessarily, but to get
We talked on the phone.
50 points.
We talked on the phone for like 30 minutes after I found the score out. I called Caleb. I was like, "Are you seeing this?"
Yeah, I was shocked.
Freedom actually could have put up 80.
After what I saw them do to Murphy,
Reynolds is a
defense giving up 70 to Freedom. I mean, I'm not saying Freedom's a bad team either. Don't get me wrong, but I just didn't see 70-20 coming. I feel bad for the Rockets.
Normally, that's what Reynolds does to people. That's what they did to me my senior year. It's nice to see them on the other end of the stick for once. No offense.
Freedom is a good team, but to put up 70 against Reynolds, that was not on my bingo card.
All right. How about we do a little voicemails, boys? As a reminder, we have opened up our hotline blitz. You can reach us at 828-348-4679. We've had a few people call in and give us some thoughts, some questions. So, keep dialing in. We love to hear from you. So let's dig into what we heard this week.
Hey, man. I was wondering if you all thought that Hendersonville can make it the rest of the way this year. I'm really hoping the boys pull through for me. I really like that Jason Warren that's on your podcast. He's a highly intelligent individual about the Western North Carolina football. Keep doing what y'all are doing. Appreciate it.
So the most controversial statement was that Warren is highly intelligent, but I'll let you guys decide. Does Hendersonville have what it takes to win a state championship this year?
No.
Nah, don't think so.
I thought they did the first after they absolutely obliterated West Henderson. But after seeing them against Erwin, their offense is there. Their defense is lacking quite a bit. Can I think they make it a second, maybe even third round? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Can they get on a run? I don't know. Teams get hot sometimes, but I think third round's a max for them, to be quite honest with you.
Unfortunately,
and that's reaching. That is reaching.
Yeah, unfortunately, I guess it depends on what type of seeding they get, but I don't even see them going third round probably. But yeah,
I see them more as a second round team. You know, I think they'll do enough in the regular season to get a home playoff game. They'll win that one, and then probably go on the road second round. But we'll see how it shakes out. A lot of it depends on matchups. And to Warren's point, you can get hot. So we're by no means rooting against them. We hope, all WNC teams could win. But there's winners and there's losers. And if we're calling it like we see it, we just don't see Hendersonville going that deep. But happy to be wrong, and good luck to them.
Can I say one thing off topic about Hendersonville's stadium? It is immaculate.
Yeah.
Me and
Pretty
Corey
stadium.
went there. That stadium is beautiful. So yeah, it's just a great environment, great stadium. Had like damn near the Cameron crazies up there jumping up and down. We were sitting on the Erwin side. I wanted to go over there and jump up and down with them, break my hip. Just great stadium. Way off topic though, sorry.
No, you're good. Beautiful stadium, great atmosphere. I think at some point in the near future, we're going to do our top 10 stadiums in WNC. I think that would be a fun thing to do. So stay tuned.
Hey, fellas. My name is Ryan. I live here in Western North Carolina. Huge fan of the show. Love how you guys take the time to break down these games. And, I must say, I really love Warren's enthusiasm for them Jets, Jets.
Well, that enthusiasm has simmered quite a bit there, buddy. After that catastrophe last Friday, might not be picking them for a while. They have to give me a reason to pick for them now. I'm tired of them making me look like a complete moron. I still love the Jets, Trantham, Parham. I still love all the boys, love all the coaches. Shout out Jeff Brady, but damn, McDowell put a stomping on them. I can't do the Jets when they're. Can't get past the line of scrimmage half the time.
I think that's fair.
That's a big problem. If you can't get past the line of scrimmage 75% of the time, it's a big problem.
Warren, you're a big hit. A lot of people really appreciate what you bring to the show, and so do I.
I appreciate you.
Hey, this is Debbie Patterson. I was just calling to let y'all know that we are a huge fan, and y'all are amazing. And shout out to number 17, Holder, who's the big dog in the house. Thank you for your time.
Well, thank you, Debbie. That was a very sweet voicemail. I'm not sure who number 17 Holder is, but
she must be talking about Jaden Holder from Erwin.
Oh, okay. I got you.
With a name like Debbie Patterson, she's got at least be born by 1952.
Well, she has a very youthful voice, so
yeah.
It's not her fault what her parents named her.
But we appreciate the love, Debbie. We love you too. Keep listening.
Hey guys, long time listener, first time caller. We're in the heat of fantasy football season, and I was just curious if you guys were to snake draft, maybe the first 3 or 4 rounds of the Western North Carolina teams, who you picking? Love the pod.
Ooh.
Interesting.
I like that.
Interesting. So I took the liberty of randomizing the draft order ahead of time for this call, or this episode, I should say. Corey has the first pick, followed by me, followed by Warren. So the idea here is that we are going to pick a group of 4 teams. We'll take turns selecting them. Each team can only be selected once. And then at the end of this, we're going to take each of our 4 groups. We're going to post it on IG, and we will let the fans determine who put together the best group of teams. So, Corey, with the number 1 pick in this draft, you select.
Give me the Brevard Blue Devils.
Wow, big surprise. I will take Mountain Heritage. Another huge surprise.
I will take the Pisgah Bears.
Pisgah. For Warren's first pick. All right, buddy. It's a snake draft, so you got the next one.
Franklin. I already won. It's over. Let's go.
I will take Hendersonville.
Give me West Henderson.
All right, Corey, you're back up.
And then let's go Murphy.
I'm going to throw a curveball here. You ready?
Let's get it.
Asheville. I'm taking Asheville with 3.
Oh, I hate it.
I'm trying to appeal to the fans. I hope there's some Asheville people out there that follow our Instagram, and they're gonna like what I drafted and pick me.
I'll go Robbinsville.
All right, Warren, your last pick.
Tuscola.
All right.
God, my team's so stacked. Holy crap. It's just like me in fantasy football. It's amazing.
I'm going to take Swain County. I got Mountain Heritage and Swain County in there. And Swain upset Mountain Heritage, so they got to be pretty good, right? I'll take them as my fourth.
Now, for my last one, y'all might think I'm crazy, but you got to think of the teams that they've played that were pretty dang good.
You talking about Erwin now?
No, nope. I know what he's doing.
Going AC Reynolds.
Oh, I thought you were going to go TC.
No, I think Reynolds handles business in the MAC once they get out of this crazy schedule they're in.
That can also be a popular pick for the crowd.
Well, it's interesting you said that because Let Freedom Ring just scored again. So
don't steal my line.
Let's start singing that song again. All right, so Corey has Brevard, West Henderson, Murphy, and Reynolds. I have Mountain Heritage, Hendersonville, Asheville, and Swain Warren with Pisgah, Franklin, Robbinsville, and Tuscola. We will post these on IG with a poll. Tell us who you think won. And thank you to the caller for suggesting that. That's a fun little thing to break up.
Hey, you guys please get calling in and leaving voicemails. You can even cuss us out. Well, frankly, I don't care, but we enjoy it.
Yeah, we can bleep it. And don't feel like you have to use your names. Like a lot of these callers didn't use their names, so that's totally fine. You can be anonymous. Just hit us with whatever you got. And again, our number is 828-348-4679. Hit up the Hotline Blitz. Another week down, it's time for the battle for the Blue Ridge Top 10.
It's the battle for the Blue Ridge Top 10. Presented by We Don't Have a Sponsor.
At our 10 spot this week, we have the Tuscola Mountaineers. Swain County at 9. At number 8, Robbinsville. Number 7, Murphy. Number 6, West Henderson. Number 5, Hendersonville. Number 4, Pisgah. Number 3, Franklin. Number 2, Mountain Heritage. And number 1, Brevard. That is your battle for the Blue Ridge. Top 10. Boys, what do you see out of this week?
Yeah, I mean, Franklin, obviously, they had to drop to the 3 spot after losing a close one to Brevard. I voted to keep them in at 2, but I was outmatched on that one. And what about West moving up to number 6?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Corey,
I'm
I'm curious.
From number 8, I believe it was last week.
Yep.
Corey, I'm curious. Why would you keep Franklin at 2 over Mount Heritage whenever they lost the first week to Murphy? Or you see them improving throughout the course of the season? Or
I'll tell you, because we had Franklin at the number 2 spot last week, and then they daggum near beat the number 1. So for that, normally, like when Mountain Heritage lost to Swain, definitely got to drop then. But the number 2 team losing to the number 1 team in overtime in the closest game that the number 1 team's had all year, that's why I kept the Panthers at the number 2 spot.
that's fair. I still think Mountain Heritage is a better team, but that's fair. I respect your argument.
I mean, Franklin has 2 losses. I mean, it.
Hey,
I get they were to tough teams. Don't get me wrong, but you know,
I'm not mad about it.
Mountain Heritage has been killing teams outside of Swain. They had that one hiccup. It'll be interesting to see if maybe Swain has the blueprint now.
Well, that wasn't necessarily a hiccup. That was a damn near stroke. That won't happen again this season for Mountain Heritage. That was not a hiccup. That was like a heart attack. That ain't gonna happen again.
Tuscola took a hard drop from 7 to 10, but they're hanging in there. I still think they're worthy of a top 10 team, so I'm glad that our combined power rankings reflect that. And how about Swain County? They make their debut at number 9. They've been playing well. Now it's time for our certified Dogs of the Week.
Yeah, I'm going with my man Parker Willis. They took the loss to Pisgah, but he's got 1,076 rushing yards in just 5 games. And last week against the Bears, he had 261 yards and 2 touchdowns. Parker Willis, my friend, you are a certified dog.
My pick this week is Garrett Young. Watching what he did to Brevard was incredible. 203 yards and 3 touchdowns on 30 carries. He was Franklin's entire offense that game. Nearly willed them to the win with that 40-yard touchdown run in the fourth quarter to put them up. Hate that kind of performance ended in a loss for them in overtime. But Garrett Young, you, sir, are a certified dog.
So I nearly picked Landon Pope again in the same game as Parker Willis, which Corey picked. But I had to go with my man Zane McCraw, mainly because, he had 200 yards and a touchdown. But the game-clinching interception for a return touchdown to essentially seal the game for Wes Henderson, doing it both sides of the ball. So, yeah, got to go with Zane McCraw out there. And you are my certified dog of the week.
Game of the week. Guess what, boys? We're running Franklin back. It was so good last week. We're doing it again. Franklin at Pisgah. Franklin, like we mentioned, coming in at 3-2. They have losses to Brevard and Murphy in close games. Pisgah at 4-1. Opened up the season with a loss, but they've been on a roll ever since, winning 4 straight. You got Franklin averaging around 35 points a game. Pisgah averaging 29. Franklin gets out to a hotter start typically. They're averaging around 12 points in the first quarter per game. So, what do we see here? This is going to be a clash between two teams that love to run the ball.
If the Bears have an edge at all in this game and they want to have some hope that they're going to win this one, they've got to outrun Franklin. Their rushing attack's got to be better, and which it is right now. As a team, Pisgah's averaging 211 yards rushing. Franklin's averaging 190. Pisgah's got the edge over them in the passing yards as well at 118 yards to 97. So if Pisgah can be efficient offensively, they're going to be fine. Franklin, they're averaging 56 tackles a game to Pisgah's 48. So another neck and neck stat. And so it's going to be up to Franklin's defense. If they can slow Pope and Putnam, I think Franklin's going to have somewhat of the edge in this game, but I don't know. We'll see. It's at Pisgah Memorial, and you know how it is playing there.
I think Matthew Mahaffey is a wild card in this game. I call Batman and Robin. That's Pope and Putnam. I think Mahaffey is a wild card. If he can just sling the ball, just get 150 yards passing. I know that might not sound like much, but in Pisgah's type of style offense, that's a lot. I think Pisgah can win this, but Garrett Young is a hoss. That is a handful. This is going to be a phenomenal game, and I look forward to being there.
I'm going to flip it to the other team more, and you talk about Mahaffey needing to come up for Pisgah. I think Anderson Terrell has to come up big for Franklin. I think he struggled against Brevard. If he's a little bit better that game, maybe they win. Although Garrett Young did what he needed to do for their offense, but if Terrell can get going. He's only averaging 87 pass yards a game, so it's not like he's, throwing a whole lot. But still, I think he could be the wild card for Franklin to go into Pisgah and upset him. We've really been treated this season to some amazing running backs in WNC. Mm-hmm. Corey talked about Parker Willis and Landon Pope in their game last week. We had Garrett Young and Braylon Thompson. And now this week we got Pope and Young going head-to-head. And they're both similar type backs. They're not going to blow you away with lightning speed, but they're bruisers, man. And if you don't get them down, they get some open field. They've got enough speed to break it off. So I'm excited. I think this is going to be a great matchup. Can't wait to watch it.
Yeah. Young and Pope will absolutely knock your ass over. That's what they do.
Yep. Hey, and like Warren said, he's going to be at the game. I'm going to be with him with a couple other buddies. So, listen, if you recognize us, come say hey, come say what's up. Let's talk about some stuff. We're all open to talking to whoever. We love for people to show support, so don't be shy.
So, Corey, what does Pisgah need to do to slow down Garrett Young?
Franklin loves to favor that power I offense. Got the offset fullback. You got Young playing, like a fullback, halfback type deal. Pisgah, they're going to have to control the line of scrimmage. They're going to have to control the gaps. They're also going to have to contain the outside, though, at the same time. got to stay disciplined at the outside linebacker spots and the cornerbacks and stuff like that, because they love to run that power toss to Young, and that's what Young was so successful with against Brevard. And we know how fast Brevard's defense is, and Brevard's defense is really good, and even they had trouble stopping it. So Pisgah's going to have to be – they're going to have to be a unit working out there together on defense to somewhat try and slow them down. I don't know. It's going to be a challenge for sure. And I'll even say this, like, we've joked about me not liking Pisgah and like how they haven't played anybody and all that stuff. Pisgah's a good team. Okay. Now if they beat Franklin Friday, even if it is at home, I'll be on the Pisgah train then, boys, because they weren't even expected to do that well in their conference. And I mean, they do still have a lot of good teams left, like the Brevards and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm excited for this game Friday, and we'll see how it plays out.
So let me ask you another question, Corey. So you've seen Parker Willis run against Pisgah, nearly went for 3 builds against them. Do you think Garrett Young can do the same thing? Or is Parker Willis at this stage in his high school career just a different animal? I think Garrett Young will get there. He's, you know what I mean?
Here's my thing. Parker Willis, I think he's the faster running back, and I guess I would take him over Young if I'm doing a draft or whatever. But the problem with North Henderson was they were in this game all night long, but it was because of Parker Willis. And Franklin, now they mainly go to Garrett Young, but you also can roll out, and I think Anderson Terrell is a little bit better of a quarterback than what North Henderson has in Barry. And they don't tend to be as run heavy at times. You know, they'll run some boot stuff here and there. So I feel like North Henderson was kind of just too much one dimensional, and I think Pisgah kind of figured it out. If Franklin can keep Pisgah guessing, or just to be straight up dominant on the line too, which we saw that against Brevard. I don't know, man. It's going to be a freaking awesome game. I'm so excited for Friday.
All right. So who are we picking for this game? Corey, start us off.
I'm going to have to go with Franklin, and I think Franklin wins by – I'm going to say Franklin by 7.
Warren, what do you think?
This game stresses me out a little bit. You know, I know Franklin has Garrett Young. You know, they have Anderson Terrell. Defense have a guy named Lance Parker. But it doesn't matter if it's Lance Parker, a Magic marker, a Grave marker, or even Bob frickin' Parker. Give me Mason Putney, Matthew Mahaffey, and Landon Pope by 4. Give me the Bears. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Are you constipated?
No. Was that bad?
do your best bear growl again.
That's all I got.
Definitely sounds like hemorrhoids to me.
Oh, don't pull something, Warren. I'm going to go with Pisgah. I think playing at Pisgah Memorial Stadium, it's tough, though, because Franklin really needs a marquee win. This is their chance to do it. I think Pisgah holds on. They win by 6.
I like it.
Let's pick our other 9 games for this week. We're going to start off with McDowell at North Buncombe. Corey.
I'm going with the Titans by 7.
I'm going to go with the Blackhawks by 4.
I'll go with North Buncombe by 3.
Watauga at Asheville. Again, another team that smacked their opponent last week in Watauga. How do they fare at Asheville, Warren?
Watauga beat the brakes off Erwin, but I just got a feeling about this one. Give me Asheville by 3.
Ooh.
Oh, wow. I like that. I'm going to have to go Watauga by 17.
Yeah, based on the way they have beaten both Erwin and TC, I got to go with Watauga by 14. They sound like a very disciplined football team. Their whole defense over there doing push-ups when they mess up. It's a little scary. I'm gonna go Watauga, but I hope the Cougars win. Cougar pride, Cougars. Tuscola at Smoky. I'm taking Smoky Mountain by 6. I went back and forth on this one too. Tuscola, they're another team that needs kind of to build some wins here, but I think Smoky Mountain gets them by 6.
Tuscola needs a tune-up, and this is the game they're going to tune up. don't think they're going to win by much. I'll give me Tuscola by 6.
I think Tuscola bounces back. I think that Sam Trantham and Jet Barley is just too much for Smokey to handle. I'm going Tuscola by 14.
Mountaineers by 2 TDs, huh?
Yeah.
All right. North Henderson at Brevard. I mean, let's again, North's a good team, but let's go ahead and get our picks over with.
I debated against this for a little bit because Parker Willis is an absolute freaking stud. I still got to go Brevard by, I know I put 20. I go 17. Parker Willis might go completely off and stun Brevard, but I still got to go Brevard. And until they lose, you always got to go Brevard.
Yep, I'm right behind you. I got Brevard by 17 as well. Even if Parker Willis runs for 200 yards, they've shown that that's not enough to get North Henderson over the hump. They need some help from other players. Maybe they get that this week. I don't think they do it against a team of Brevard's caliber, especially when Brevard's at home. I'm taking the Blue Devils by 17.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Brevard by, I think, 24. I think after what I saw last week, Parker Willis, he can score for him. I think Coach Luke Coleman is a good defensive coach. I think he's going to find a way to somewhat slow him down. And from what I saw to North Henderson's defense against Pisgah last week, couldn't stop Pope and Putnam. I don't think you're stopping Braylon Thompson and Thompson win.
Owen at Avery. Owen had that clutch field goal win over Polk County. Avery's still licking their wounds. I think Owen's got a little mojo going. I'm going to take Owen by 10. I think they're building some momentum. They need to bring the horse pasture back. They might be dropping some horse crap all over Avery on Friday night. Give me the War Horses by 10.
And Caleb, I'm not far behind you. Give me the War Horses by 14, baby. 2 tutties.
War Horses, War Lassies, don't give a damn. Give me Oak Markland in Avery County by 3. Give me my man Oak. Talked about him all year last season. He's had
all year this year.
I haven't talked about as much this season. His team's a little down. Time to rise up, Oak. Let's go, baby. Avery by 3.
Murphy goes into Cherokee. Corey.
I got to roll with the Bulldogs on this one. Murphy wins it by 21.
I actually nearly told Caleb I wanted to pick Cherokee, but I just can't. Murphy by 10. Might even be by quite a bit more, to be honest with you.
Yep, make it a clean sweep for the Bulldogs this week. I've got Murphy by 16. Polk coming off that heartbreaker at Mitchell. Corey?
Yeah, after, what I saw at a Polk with Owen, I think Mitchell wins this one by about 21.
So I used to live in Polk County, and all they had was an ice cream shop, a buy-low, and a jail cell. And all they cared about was football. Give me Polk by 3. Give me Polk by 3, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, didn't like what I saw out of Polk last week. Offense couldn't get going against Owen. They lost the game. I've got Mitchell by 10. Hayesville at Rosman. Mr. Warren.
So I've seen Hazel play at Inca. They got lucky, barely won, shouldn't have won. We've seen what he can do. We've seen what Rosman can do. This game's a toss-up to me. I think it's going to be a very sloppy game. Give me Rosman by 6. Come on, Rosman. Let's step up, baby.
I think Hayesville's got enough. They're going to beat him by 8. They go into Rosman, win by 8.
Here's the deal, fellas. Inca beat Rosman last year by 50-something points. Rosman won't even play them now. And Hayesville beat Inca this year. Give me the Yellow Jackets by 28.
Corey, why do you always do this last year stuff? Like this?
Well, I know because Caleb, listen,
doing this last year stuff.
Here we go.
No, what
Warren,
do you mean? Warren, it's always last year stuff.
Warren, I'm going based off teams that still have the same players from last year. So why would this year be any different?
You really think you know if Hazel or Rosman?
Listen, I'm going to come back to. I'm going to give you. Actually, you'll be with me Friday night. So when Rosman gets absolutely slaughtered, I am going to make fun of you the rest of the evening in front of everyone.
Oh my God, Rosman!
Like this guy picked Rosman over Hazel.
You for 2 weeks.
I don't know what y'all are smoking over there in Beaver Dam.
In our last game, Mountain Heritage at Madison. Another one I think we can probably just run down the line on. I've got the Cougars by 21.
I'm taking Mountain Heritage by 35.
I think Case and Jones is going to come off the bye week, and it's going to be bad news for Madison. Give me Mountain Heritage by 24.
And don't forget, Mountain Heritage, not only are they coming off a loss, but they're also coming off a bye week, so they've had extra time to prepare. Yeah, I think Madison's in for trouble, but we'll see.
Madison's in for a hurting.
All right, boys. Another episode down. How you feel about it?
Fun stuff, boys. As always.
Every Tuesday night's a great night with you guys.
Aw, you're such a
He's about to say a great guys' night. I mean, he's not wrong.
It's kind of a guys' night, for sure.
It's as close as we can get with you moving across the country from us.
No, your tie-dyed shirt. But you want to
like
Jimmy
that?
Hendrix concert?
He's a creature.
I actually tie-dyed this shirt myself, so.
Did you really?
I did.
Was that like one of the arts and crafts things that Raina made you do on a Sunday afternoon?
Yes, actually. That she ended up not being able to go to because she had to work. But anyways, that does it for another episode of the Mountain Matchups Podcast. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Love you guys.
Love you.
Love you, buddy.